Welcome back. This lesson is called rotations. This is the trickier of the transformational geometry lessons. So let's get right into it. Let's review fractions of a circle. So right away we remember from fractions, this is 1/4. That's how much is shaded. So shaded is 1/4 and unshaded is 3/4. Write the amount shaded as a whole of a fraction. So this one here is 2/4, or we say 1/2. This one's 1/4. This is 1 whole because it's 4/4. And this is 3/4. In which direction do the hands move on a clock? Well, there's two directions, just clockwise and counterclockwise. So clock always moves in this direction here. So we call it clockwise. If you're going to turn the opposite direction, we call it counterclockwise. So here are the symbols for clockwise and counterclockwise. So write the fraction of the turn and the direction. So if you were to pretend that this was an entire circle, this is what it wants you to do. This is how much is shaded. So half the circle is shaded and the direction is going backwards from a clock, so it's counterclockwise. So the arrow is pointing this way. So the direction is clockwise. And how much of this turn have we made here? It's 1, 2, 3. So 3/4 counterclockwise. Same here. We got 1, 2. So that's 2/4 or 1/2. They're equivalent. And the direction is in the way that the clock goes. So it would be a half turn clockwise. We don't use 2/4 when we do this. We just stick with the half. And the last example here, D, this is going counterclockwise. And it's 1/4 of a turn because this is just 1/4. So these turns are called rotations. So here's the center of the rotation. This is where it starts here. It travels along this direction here, and this is where it ends up. You have to pretend that this is nailed, in this case, to the vertex. It's not moving. This part does not move. Does not move. Okay, there are other videos on my channel that explain this in greater detail because they're for older grades. So now it says draw the given rotation. Okay, so let's label this one here. So I'm going to do with arrows because it's just easier to do this with arrows for me. Starting in position in blue. So let's grab a blue marker here. Okay, so I'm going to start by drawing my arrow here. Okay, so I need to go, and this is point P. This is where the turn happens. It's the center of rotation. It needs to go 1/4 turn clockwise. So the direction of a clock is, remember, this way. So this has to go here. So this is where the image would end up. Because this part here, if this were a circle, that's shaded in. Okay, so now I'm going to do another one. We're going to do a half turn. Okay, I'm going to go in the same direction. Okay, except, I'm going in this and drawing in the same spot. And we have to go counterclockwise. That's backwards. A half turn equals 2/4. So we have to make like 2 stops. 1, 2. So this would end up here. And if this were a fraction, like a circle, this would all be shaded in. Okay. So 3/4 turn counterclockwise. So let's start again here. We'll start it in this direction here. And we have to go counterclockwise, which is in this direction, 3/4 of a turn. So there's our turning point here. So it would go 1, 2, and 3. So this is where it would end up. Because if we were coloring in this fraction here, if this was a real fraction, like in our fractions unit, there's your 3/4. And a whole turn clockwise, all you're really doing is you're starting here. Here's your point P. And you're literally just going 1, 2, 3, 4, and you end up right at where you started. So whenever it says a whole turn, it's right where it started. So now here, these shapes get a little tricky. And if we were in class, my other videos actually show you how to do this because I had the equipment during last year's pandemic. But this is a quarter turn clockwise. So that means clockwise, we have to go this way. So when it's laying on this line here, literally you're bringing this line down here. So the shape would look like this. This is what it would look like. Okay. I recommend that you watch the other videos because I actually cut out shapes and do it, but I don't have that camera in here, so I cannot do it. So let's try it with this. Let's do A. So we're using a little bit of a smaller grid, 3/4 turn counterclockwise. So let's start with this arrow. Let's go this way here. Okay. The center is here, and we have to go counterclockwise, so it's going backwards. So we would go 1, 2, 3. If you also do this a quarter turn, so this is 3/4 turn counterclockwise. If you were to go in the other direction this way here, this is equal to a quarter turn clockwise. Okay, so just watch out for that. So B, it's asking for a quarter turn counterclockwise. So I'm going to go in the same direction here. Quarter turn counterclockwise. So that's backwards from a clock. And quarter is just one little turn here. And there you go. For C, it is asking for a full turn counterclockwise. So for this one here, even if we were to start like this, the point is here. A full turn would be 1, 2, 3, 4, right back where you started. So those are easy ones. And D, half turn counterclockwise. So these are all going backwards. There's our arrow. There's our turn point, and it goes backwards. Remember, half turn is 2/4, and it's going to look like this. Okay. So now here's the shortcut. When you're going to do this, my other videos have explained this as well. A quarter turn clockwise is equivalent to 3/4 turn counterclockwise. Half turn clockwise is equal to a half turn counterclockwise. And the last one, 3/4 turn clockwise is equal to a quarter turn counterclockwise. So the other videos show this in action. Check them out. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.